Welcome gamers to Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector. My name is Daz Tactic. Welcome to the channel and welcome to this one-off video. We're going to be looking at the new Black Legion, which is just coming out literally at the time when this video drops. You'll sort of see in the top corner here, it's got a build that expires about 2 weeks ago. I'm playing a preview build of the Black Legion, so there are certain things that may or probably will change by the time you actually sort of see the final launch of the game itself. I do want to thank Slytherin for sponsoring this video, so thank you guys. And also there is actually going to be a link down below where you can actually go to the Steam page for this great game. This game rates incredibly highly, which is actually awesome for a strategy game. Strategy games don't typically rate all that high, but this one does. It's got a ton of immersion. There's certainly some aspects about the game that people keep on asking different questions. I'll try to answer some of those as we sort of go through. Like some things where... Actually, I'll do that when I get to it. That will probably explain sort of, or hopefully explain a few of things that people do actually have some potential issues with the game, where they sort of are reluctant to delve into it based on other factors, and hopefully I'll be able to allay any of those fears just through going through what the plans moving forward are for the game, etc., as much as I know anyway. What else is there to talk about? Well, if you are watching this at time of release, there is going to be a lot of specials, a lot of big specials on this game apparently. I don't know what they are specifically, but the DLCs may be cheaper. Base game will most certainly be a lot cheaper. So have a look at it at time of release. There's, as I said before, there should be some big specials out there for you. I don't know, as I said, at time of recording, they haven't hit yet. So this is being pre-recorded maybe about 4 or 5 days before before the launch of the Black Legion. Now let's talk about the Black Legion. I think it's I want to show how to play as the Black Legion, but I also want to show what the Black Legion brings in. So let's just go into army management. And I've started off just building one down the very, very bottom here, Daz Black Legion down through this other side, where I was going to just use this one a little bit to sort of show off the game in skirmish, etc. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually be playing one of the campaigns and sort of go through that way. So there's a new approach with random campaigns, which I'm really, really excited about. So I'll talk about that when we actually get to it. So what we have here is we've got different sorts of units back on the side through here. Now, when you play as when you play the new campaign mode, which is I forgot what it's called. Anyway, it's essentially a procedural campaign, which I love. But you only start off with like a small selection in your actual starting kit, and you then slowly build up to the full amount. This is the full grouping back over this other side, where you've got, and I won't spend too much time with them, but I do want to give you a bit of a flavour as to what the DLC does bring in. So this is the Black Legion DLC. If you're not familiar with the Black Legion, actually I'll just get one with the bloom. I've got a problem where I can't turn the bloom off, unfortunately, and so it's sort of everything is very, very bright and shiny. But if I go to one of the Forge Fiends in through here, this one doesn't bloom around too much, so we won't get sort of too much movement. And in fact, what are the other ones? One of these Hellbrutes, that one's not too bad as well. The Hellbrute also does give us a nice visual to then sort of have a bit of a look at what we talk about, what's actually going on through here. So what is the Black Legion? So a bit of history about that one. If you're at all familiar with the Warhammer 40,000 lore, you may have heard of the Horus Heresy, which happened 10,000 years ago in terms of the 40,000, we're in the year 40,000 when we're playing these games. The Horus Heresy started in around about the year, like in the 30th millennium. So 10,000 years in the past from where we play the games. And that was brought by one of the Primarchs, Horus, who actually sort of rebelled against the Emperor at that stage. The Emperor ended up defeating Horus and destroying Horus completely. But in the process, the Emperor, the God Emperor, essentially then ended up almost destroying himself. And so he now sort of lives in a special throne, which sort of keeps his body alive. And he's been in that state for 10,000 years. So that's actually where the Space Marines follow the God Emperor And the Chaos Marines, which is what we have, which is what we're playing as, they followed Horus back in the day. And so there's Abaddon the Defiler is sort of like the ruler of the Black Legion. The Black Legion is a heretic form of Space Marines that broke away during during Horus's uprising, and so they've been followers of Chaos ever since. But they have their roots back in the Space Marines. So they're a traitorous group of Space Marines that have the Black Legion is the biggest of the group, and so these were essentially the main troops used by Horus, and through Abaddon, his lieutenant. Now, Abaddon, these were called the Sons of Horus back in the day, and so, but with the defeat of Horus, Abaddon decided to distance himself from the name Horus. So, Sons of Horus were gone, and the Black Legion was born. So that's how we get our Chaos Space Marines, called the actual Black Legion, and so that's the group that we are playing with. So that's the backstory. So we're looking at a group of traitorous and heretic Space Marines. So let's go through what we actually end up having with the actual group itself. So that's the backstory. So what we have is, I think the way to put your head into this one, we don't have Abaddon the Defiler or anyone in that ilk, so there's no historically sort of relevant characters in the group that we actually play as. We're a chapter of the Black Legion when we sort of play the game, and so with those we end up having sort of like the forces that they would then sort of cobble together and form the actual chapter itself. And so we've got our leadership. In fact, I can just filter by these. So we've got the different HQs back and through here. So we've got 4 HQ units that do come. I'm not going to spend too much time going through this until we start to play the game, and then we'll look at balancing that when we start to play. But certainly there's a lot of different ways to have a look at. But we start off with the Chaos Lord. This is sort of like usually a commander of a Black Legion chapter. So the Chaos Lord is more melee sort of focused. The Sorcerer, the Chaos Sorcerer. You'll see that these are in scale wise. These are quite large. These are sort of like, these are not just Space Marines that have been, look, these don't come from the ranks. If they do, they're very, very tall. Like these would be probably 12 foot tall, I guess, would be the way of sort of thinking of these. These actually come from these are formed differently. They don't come from the ranks. So this one here does. So this Cultist Firebrand is, I think, of this. Well, this is actually this one's actually one that's related to the Cultists, which we'll talk about as well as we sort of get into it. The Cultist, actually, maybe we should talk about it now. Just unfilter it. So we essentially have, like, I guess if you're trying to sort of segment in your own mind as to what a Chaos Legion or what a Chaos Space Marine Legion might look like. You're going to have certainly Legionnaires or that sort of ilk where you're looking at typical sort of Space Marine or Chaos Space Marine sort of units. Most of these will be in that form. There will also be forces from the Chaos realm. So we look at this one, for example, with the Forge Fiend, which is a sort of like a construct, which has sort of come from Chaos. We've got the Venom Crawler as well. That's also in that sort of ilk. So most of them will actually end up being the Space Marines. Then we have a few down the bottom through here, which are Chaos Cultist Warbands. And so these are just humans who have decided to actually join in with the actual Space Marines. And so these are very, very erratic sort of fighting forces, very cheap to employ. But these are literally just humans that are supported. And we also then have the Chaos Cultist mob in through here as well. And so you often see these in Warhammer games sort of being like in the wilds. These are essentially just cultists. So they sort of adhere to they pray to the Chaos gods, and they're sort of like almost like followers on, I guess, for the actual for the Legion, for the Black Legion. So we end up with these Chaos cultists. These are quite weak, very, very cheap. We only have one actual tank type unit, like where we actually have, but again, so many of the actual forces for the Chaos Space Marines are very, very strong. They're essentially walking tanks anyway, to a large degree. But we do actually have a Chaos Rhino. The Chaos Rhino is a transport vehicle, so they can actually then transport a number of different forces to and into the actual battle line. It also has like some offensive weapons there for sort of steamrolling through different units. If we go back and have a quick look at the human-sized troops, so these are about 6 foot tall. We then actually can go back to the standard Legionnaires. These are the Legionaries are the actual normal sort of Space Marines, and you'll see there the size difference. I love this in the game as well, like they're sort of scaling, like this is 6 foot, these guys are about 9 foot tall. So these are specially, and the Space Marines are the same, like they've actually sort of been specially formed to build them up to be like super fighters. And so these have still got the same sort of genetics that we actually have from the actual Space Marine chapters. So anyway, that's why we end up with sort of like these different sizes. It is by design. It's not actually just, like they're not all just human size and then they're made bigger or larger. They actually, in the Warhammer 40,000 lore, these are a lot larger than a standard human. And similarly, the actual leaders that we end up having through here, like the Sorcerer, is even larger again. So going to be sort of like, maybe sort of like 12 foot tall or so, or thereabouts. But it's so there's a lot to play with in this game. The actual in this DLC and in the game as well, to be honest. Each DLC brings a lot to it, but there's more in this grouping than what I can remember seeing in the other groups, to be honest. Like when we look at some of the other DLCs, there seems to be a lot more different types of units to play with the Chaos Space Marines. So that's a big plus. I mean, that's I don't think we normally have this many that we can then sort of go and cobble together an actual group. But when you actually are playing, you've then got limitation with points, and so every single unit costs you a certain amount of points to bring them into the actual into what we end up having. So just be aware of that as well. You have to balance what you have to bring in the right sorts of balance of troops to actually then go and fight. Now, I'm just going to click on done. I'm not going to be playing with those as such because we're going to go into play the new campaign mode in the game. Now, one question that always comes up, which stops people from buying the game or buying the DLCs, is that there's always a question: is there a dedicated campaign with this DLC? The answer is no, there's not. There's 3 dedicated DLCs back up through here. I think actually Demonic Incursion may not be. I think that's sort of like a holdout randomly mode. So I think that's more procedural. These 2 certainly are actual campaigns. So you've got like the standard one that came with the game, Deeds of the Fallen, which came with the Adeptus Sororitas, I think, was where that one actually came from. But everything else is starting to sort of now play out where they bring units in, mainly for either skirmish or multiplayer, but also now we actually have this Crusade. This is a preview of the Crusade. This is still being built, this particular mode. So this will be, the game's almost like in early access in this sort of sense. And I really like what they've done with this Crusade. The Planetary Supremacy, for me, is another mode where you've got like random factions which fight it out amongst each other. That's getting better and better as well, in my opinion. But the Crusade preview is something that I really enjoy. And they've now fleshed it out even more in this particular launch. So if you've seen it up until now, you will have seen a different version than what we actually have currently. So we're going to be playing the Crusade preview. So for those of you who really want a dedicated story going through where you take a small group sort of like, through a story-driven campaign, curated maps and so on and so forth, we don't have that, but the Crusade preview, you still take your small band and build them up. If you suffer losses, you feel it, like as you progress through the random campaign. So it sort of ends up where we are. The only, if I'm sort of trying to be sort of like, where does it all sort of fit in terms of somebody who will be wanting a dedicated campaign? The thing you don't get with these Crusade preview is curated and hand done scenarios. That's the one thing you don't get, and you don't get an ongoing story. So it's sort of, I think it's, if you understand that we are playing as a Black Legion chapter, this is, and we are, our chapter is to try to fulfill this particular mission, playing through the Crusade. This is again just a preview of what's coming with the Crusade. Then that sort of is what we have. I like it because it means that there's you can replay this as many times as you like, and you're going to get a different outcome every single time. So I'm going to go and play this one. I hope that makes sense. If you, no matter which DLC you've got, you can then sort of actually have them added into this particular one. So in Crusade, you'll take your force in a fight across numerous planets, each one teeming with enemies who long for your destruction. Rewards and experience earned along the way will grant powerful bonuses to support your campaign. This is a crusade without pause or mercy. A single defeat will mark the end of your journey. Glory and new army options await those who are victorious. So it is a progression campaign. So if that's the reason you're steering clear of the game, that is covered. If it's because you want an actual story and you want curated maps, then this is not that. But it still has variation in what it does present. We're going to be choosing Black Legion, of course, which is the latest of them. The fight against allies, you can turn that one on if you like. I don't think we need to with the Black Legion, so I think I'll just keep that one off. What I want to do is I really, really want this one to be fighting against one of the Imperium groups. So Astra Militarum, the Adeptus Sororitas, or the Blood Angels. So I'll keep on re-rolling until I get that as my actual campaign. So and you've got the army now. You can't build your own starting army. You do start off with this. We'll have a look at that in detail when we do get started. The war zone, you've only got 2 planets at this stage. So Chalnath, which is, I think, more of a swampy sort of forested world, or Baal, which is sort of more of a barren, frozen world. So we'll play with Baal. Difficulty, you can't go to Lieutenant mode until you've actually done the Astartes, and I haven't done the Astartes. So we need to sort of come back into here, and you've got to initiate it back into there as well. So we'll just go and launch. Otherwise, I would probably play Lieutenant, I think. Who are we up against? We're up against the Tyranids. Now, I'm going to pause this and go back and restart until we get one of the other chapters. The whole campaign will actually be against the Tyranids. So this will, you can see down through here, we've got different maps. Like this is a Bastion map where we've got objective is to seize and control, and in this case there's 500 Tyranid points fighting us. We've got Domination, we've got Domination through there, seize and control, Domination, seize and control, Siege. So there's different, and then there's the Exchange down through this other side. I'm not sure what that does. That may be to rebuild your forces. I'm just not sure before you have your boss battle back in the final element back through there. Again, volcanic maps, Bastion maps, Bastion. Yeah, so this is on Baal. Yeah, so this is, anyway, let's just go back out. And I'll pause until I actually get one of those other chapters. All right, we've got ourselves Space Marines. Now, actually, I don't think the Adeptus Sororitas or the Astra Militarum are actually available as combatants against you at this stage. So I'm assuming that will come at some point where some of those more recent DLCs will then sort of be able to fight you. Certainly, as I was re-rolling, I was getting Necrons, I was getting the Tyranids, Space Marines. What else was I getting? Yeah, anyway, didn't get the Tau, didn't get the Adeptus Sororitas, didn't get the Imperium, basically. So anyway, let's get into it. We now actually have, this is going to be the start of the map. If you've played the previous Crusade campaign, it would have just been like a smallish group of maybe 4 or 5 hexes brought together where you just had a progression through. We now have a much longer progression through the planet. We have 3 different landing zones where we can sort of touch down, and so we can sort of pick our way through essentially one of these paths towards the final area. I'm not sure if we can flick across to actually sort of then bypass to end up down through these other areas. We have different terrains as well. So we've got like the Blackstone Swamp, which is sort of like the terrain that we then go and fight in. It doesn't have a massive bearing in the game, to be honest. Tundra back through that side, more swamp, tundra. So this is where we're going to sort of be. So we're sort of either fighting out in the ice or fighting in the swamps of Baal. This one here, we've got a strategic command objective. We've got the season control. I'll try to get something where we've got a bit of variation. We've got domination, strategic command, domination back through there. This one here is eliminate all enemies, which is fairly easy, to be honest. The siege ones are interesting. The season control is interesting. Eliminate all enemies, strategic command, yep, okay. Then this one here is season control, strategic command, season control, eliminate, domination. So what have we got? Strategic, siege, domination. We've got a bit of variation there in the front here. So let's go and choose this one where we start off in the Blackstone Swamp. So when I go and select this one, actually before I do that, I'll just go and talk a little bit about what we end up having. The reason this is so cool, this particular mode, is you've got different upgrades. So the HQ upgrades come through where you earn these points, these sort of HQ upgrade points, as you fight. This then allows you to then unlock the different elements within your force. And so we start off with the Chaos Sorcerer. This one's already been unlocked there for us. And then we actually have different powers that may sort of come through. So Servants of the Dark Powers. Energy Drain has not been selected yet. So we only have that and Infernal Gaze. So these are actually the abilities that the Chaos Sorcerer starts with. It's then up to us as we progress through as to where we then take the spending of these points. So it really is only the first battle that we're set in stone. We don't actually have any points to play with at that particular point in time. We've got the Cultist Firebrands with different abilities back and through there as well. We've got Volatile, but we don't actually have those. That's interesting. What do we have? No, we don't have them just yet. We do have Volatile, explodes on death. So anyway, that's that is there. And Trophy Taker has been taken as well. We've got that one selected for us. Dark Rewards off the Chaos Lord, but we don't actually have a Chaos Lord available just yet. So these are all of the different upgrades that we can end up getting for our forces. So it plays very much like a standard campaign, except it's procedural. But for me, the best of both worlds. I love this. I love this idea. So if you're playing a skirmish map or a multiplayer, you already have all these things already unlocked for you, which is why these campaigns are just so good. So some of these have been unlocked, but we just don't have. Now we've got the Hellbrute available to us back and through here. So we do actually have one of those. Chaos Rono is not selected. Anyway, that's the HQ upgrades. We'll just go back out and into the other one. And then we have army management. So this is our actual army that we're going in with. We might have a bit of a look to see what we end up having. Now, I don't have any requisitions here, which means I can't actually go and get any more units at this point in time. So this is what our force actually looks like. I'll just see if there are any missing. We've got the Sorcerer back in through here. We do actually have ourselves the Chosen. We've got two groups of Chosen through here. In the actual lore of the Black Legion and also of the of the Chaos Marines, the Chosen are the most elite of the actual Space Marines or the Chaos Marines that have come in. These are the guys who have actually really sort of proven themselves in battle. So these are your veterans. These ones only cost 100 points to bring in, so they're actually fairly cheap in terms of their actual cost. What they have is a bolt pistol as well as an accursed chain weapon. Again, some of these can be upgraded as you start to play through the campaign. So the Chosen are I guess let's have a bit of a look at each one of these. The actual commander, the Chaos Sorcerer here, has got a couple of different abilities. His weapon is a force stave, which actually does like either melee damage, but he also has another ability down through here, which is Infernal Gaze, which is attack target enemy unit within 5 tiles for 52 to 70 splash damage with 4 armor piercing. What that means is that if you are fighting against somebody, and this one here, for example, has got 6 armor, which will then reduce the damage that's done. So an armor piercing of 4 will get through the first 4 layers of armor, but then will actually then be diminished with the last 2. So it's got a 4 armor piercing. It's got splash damage, which means that it's affecting all the units in a stack. So if it's just a single unit, it's only going to do 50 to 70 damage. Well, actually, would do less than that if he was getting himself. So But if it was going up against, for example, the actual Chosen, the Chosen have got 80 hit points each. They've got 6 armor, so the damage would be diminished, but they would be severely impacted by that particular attack. So when we have a bit of a look at this one through here, that's actually an attack that does go through. It says, if available, Favored of Chaos is consumed and all allied and enemy units within 1 tile of the target are attacked with 18 to 25 splash damage with 4 armor piercing. So it does damage, it's got splash damage within the unit it hits and on the cardinal points around, actually no, on all the points around it. So it can do a lot of damage, that particular attack, and it's got a cooldown of 2. So this is a very, very powerful ability. This is like a spell that the sorcerer has. These are the psychers. The sorcerers are the psychers of the Chaos Space Marines. We also then have the Servant of Dark Powers. At the start of each unit's turn, this unit gains Favored of Chaos. So we do get that Favored of Chaos at the start of its turn, and it gives it a plus 10% critical chance and a plus 5% graze chance when attacked. So very, very powerful unit. Nice armor abilities back and through there. 4 movement points, 2 actions because it's a leader. The leaders have 2 action points, and a fair number of hit points. 250 is not too shabby. Back and through here, we then got our Chosen, of course. The Chosen are interesting. These are in the what's called the elite class, so we have only 1 available to us at this stage. There is a Terminator group, I think, Chaos Terminators, which you will get in as you can unlock them as another elite group. So these have just got bolt pistols and also the accursed chain weapons. Now, these have only got a range of 1 to 3 with an optimal range of 1, and so really it's more to do with the actual accursed chain weapon. And so this one is going to be doing a lot more damage with its melee weapon than with its bolt gun. So the bolt gun is there not really for anything much other than just as an Overwatch ability, I guess, with what it actually does have. It's got brutal attrition, so requires and consumes Favored of Chaos, makes a charge attack against a target enemy unit with upgraded weapons splash to 4 models. So if it does have Favored of Chaos, and you'll see this will happen a lot through the game. They just pick it up, and essentially they become even more powerful. So we'll have a look at that in more detail when we sort of get into the game itself. We then actually have the Hellbrute. What this is, the Hellbrute is a Chaos Marine who has suffered very, very badly in battle, and is literally just now like the head, like the brain of the Chaos Marine, has been put inside this construct, like this sort of flesh and machine construct, which is just a big killing machine, but with the head, like with just the brain of a Chaos Marine operating inside it. That's the backstory for the Hellbrutes. These are fairly expensive. These have actually got heavy bolters, which have got a range of up to 7, which is great. So you need some long range weaponry as well, and this is one of the guys that does that one. It also has a Hellbrute fist, and so these essentially have the so this here we've got the bolters. Is that what they are? Yeah, heavy bolter, and on this other side we've then got the Hellbrute fist back and through here, again, which does a lot of melee damage. So can do a lot of different things with this particular unit. This also has volatile, so explodes on death. So you don't want to be around it when it does explode, when it gets killed. And devastating strikes. So enemies hit both melee attacks from this unit will receive devastating wounds, giving plus 20% critical chance against this unit, which sort of means that if it does get into melee, it can then start to weaken the enemy forces, which is very, very cool. It's why I quite like this mode of playing, because you get to really get a feel for who your group is before you then start to expand it with all the other bits and pieces, which is really, really nice. We then actually have the Havocs. Now the Havocs are so these are heavy support. So Hellbrute is heavy support. These guys are heavy support as well. The Havocs are sort of like an elite form of the Chaos Space Marines. And so these have actually got so it's got the heavy bolter, which is in through here. So again, range of up to 8. And so it's just sort of standard weaponry, but it does actually have the stabilization talons. These are a little bit like the Imperium forces, the where they actually can then sort of lock down, and as long as they don't move, they can actually end up getting better accuracy. So these are essentially someone that you want to get into position, lock them in, and then they can start to get more and more accuracy. So the stabilization talons, you can see they're plus 4% accuracy and plus 1 range stability, and stacks up to 4 times. All stacks are lost if the unit moves. If available, Favour of Chaos is consumed to give this unit stabilization talons. So we can spend its Favourite of Chaos to lock in this instance. So that's very, very important. Back in through here, we've then got the Raptors. Now these are a sort of like I guess a jet propelled. You can sort of see the jets in the back of these guys to be able to sort of propel these. So these are Space Marines, only 70 hit points back in through here. Actually, what are the other ones? These are 85, 320. That's our most powerful unit. And they're 80 as well. So we've got 80, 85. This one here is only 70 hit points. But these have got these have just got bolt pistols, again range 3, and it's got the Astartes chainsword in through here. So its main weapon again is going to be the chainsword with just the bolt pistol as support, and it has the jump pack. So so this one here has got plus 2 movement, minus 20% ranged accuracy, which is fine because you're probably going to be wanting to jump in anyway to then make use of the power sword. Ignores movement penalties from terrain, expires in 1 turn. Basically, it's got a cooldown. So you need to select that before you start to move them. So we do actually have those available. We have one of those in our group. So so far we've got one of everything. We've got 2 of the Chosen, but we've got one of these jump pack guys. Then we've actually got our standard Chaos Space Marines back in through here as well. And so in these cases, we've got these are just Legionnaires, and these don't have a melee weapon. These have only just got their bolt guns, and so these have got a range of 7 again. So these are more long range. So attacks 8, base damage 3 to 5, ballistic. But it's times each member in the actual force. Armor piercing is only 2, so it's not very good with armor. Accuracy fall off 8 per tile, but the optimum range there is 3 tiles for it to sort of then do its attack. It also then has a frag grenade. Now, again, we'll be able to unlock a crack grenade. So there's 2 different types of weaponry or grenade weaponry in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Essentially, you've got frag, which is good against squads like this, and you've then got crack, which is good against armor and vehicles. So in this case, we don't actually have the anti-armor grenade, but we do certainly have the anti-personnel grenade. So we start off with that one through there, but again, we can get that as time goes on. We've got 3 of those in our force at this point in time. And then we actually have our Chaos Cultist mobs if we did want them. These are, if you've sort of played Warhammer Gladius or anything like that, you'll find these on Gladius itself everywhere. These are the little groups. There's heaps of them in the group. So what have we got in the group? Usually 10-ish, I think. Yes, 10 in the group. So we've got 10 of these as opposed to 5 of the others. These have just got like an auto pistol, which has got a range of 1 to 3 again, does minimal damage. No armor piercing there of 1, so very, very minimal. And it does actually have these brutal assault weapons. Again, going to be much less than the attacks that we sort of see through, for example, the Chosen. So if we have a look at compare these against like a group from the Chosen, remember these are times 10, so they end up with getting, let's just say base damage. They're 3 attacks, base damage, we'll say 20 to 30 because there's 10 in the group. If we go back to these guys, there's 5 in this group, and so their bolt pistol is got 4 attacks, so it's got more than that one, and then it's got the, so it's 15 to 20 essentially back in there, but 4 times 4 again. So, so in that sort of sense, the actual pistol itself is a little bit they're pretty much the same, but in this case the accursed chain weapon is going to do a lot more damage than their sort of machete type weapons that they've got. Anyway, that's the group that we have. We don't actually have any of the mobs in with our group, but if you had 45 points left over, you can see they're much cheaper than everyone else. They've only got 30 hit points per unit. So they've got that still gives them 300 in total. So it's not insubstantial. It's just that so many of the weapons do splash damage, so you can actually you'll be able to destroy these very, very easily with just a grenade. Even like a grenade's going to sort of kill most of the group. So anyway, that's where we are with the actual forces available at the start of the campaign. Oh, I should point out, actually, before I sort of get too sort of caught up in this thing, sometimes you're going to have different choices. I don't think we've got any of these at this stage where we've actually got choices of weapons. No, we don't. So sometimes you're going to end up with a choice of weapons. So if you are building your stack, you may find that they can upgrade to a better weapon. It's going to increase their point amount, so you don't have to pay more for it. But we've still got 10 points left over here. So if I could upgrade one of these with another 10 points for a more powerful sort of kit, I would do that. But anyway, we can't do that one. Let's just go back in, and we don't have any requisitions, so I can't add anything to the army. I can put units in reserve, but of course we don't need to. So if we end up with more than the 990, more than the 1,000 points that we're allowed to play in this first battle, I can just put the others into reserves. Anyway, let's go back out and click on Done. So we're going to start in through here. So we have 1,000 points. They've only got 500 for the Blood Angels, so this is the Space Marines, but we have to be really careful that we don't lose units. This is even though the army points, it seems like it's going to be very, very one-sided, and it is, but we have to be careful that we don't throw units away. So we have to play quite strategically. And so we're actually playing the Strategic Command Objective, which I've forgotten what that is actually. Let's just go and proceed and get into it. Now, at the start, we're going to be able to deploy our units into where we want them to go. And again, it's a bit of a combination of what are you trying to achieve and how do you defend yourself well while you're actually doing that one. It does take a little bit of time to build the random map and sort of get things going. One thing I would suggest is if you are, again, I'm hyping on about people who are really focused very heavily on the actual campaigns in the game. If you're somebody who really likes the curated maps, and they are more engaging than these random maps, the random maps do have they do need a bit of love, I've got to say. They have received some over time, but there is just more that that could be done with them, I guess. Now, when we play this particular strategic command one, we have to go and take these positions, and we've got 5 of them on the map. If I go and click on each one of these, the first one is there, that's closest to us. The next one is over there, which probably is in the middle. The next one is over there, which is probably in the middle as well. Then we've got another one there, and then we're going to have one that should be sort of at the back end of... Oh, no, that's really close to us. So we've got that one that's close, so we can grab that one. We've got that one which is just outside of our range there, and there was another one over here. Yeah, so I should be able to hopefully grab these. The enemy could start from anywhere. So they've got one way up there. We don't know exactly where the enemy will start from on this map. Let's just go to each one of them. That's the one that's sort of furthest away. That one's also pretty far away. If I just zoom across between that one and that one, yeah, this one's a little bit closer again. So I'm assuming what will happen is we'll end up with this one. We should be able to grab the other one as well over there, and then also get this one before there's too much of an attack. I'm going to assume that I'm going to be needing to focus on these 3, and then this other one will be a bit of a bonus back over there. So I'm going to just send one unit back out this other side. I'm then going to split up the rest of my forces to then go up and tackle the others. Let's have a quick look and see who we've actually got that we want to be doing this one with. Now we know that the short range guys are going to be our main sort of force. We've got the Chaos Sorcerer, who we definitely want to sort of keep fairly central. So I'll put him so that he ends up running, well, he's fine where he is. The Hellbrute as well, long range with what he's got. The Raptors, now these are the ones that can actually then move and fly. So I'm going to move them across to there to take this so that they can sort of start to use their jetpacks. The Legionnaires, again, a longish range, and these are super useful. So these will tend to survive. Because of their range, But the one that I don't really want to be losing is the Chosen. The Chosen, if they're short range, will ultimately end up in the firing line, and these can be killed off. So I have to be a bit careful there. We've got the Havocs there, with the heavy bolter. Again, long range support. The Legionnaires. Now that's sort of okay to grab those. I might use the Chosen to go and do that, and I'll just try to keep the longer range guys sort of operating in the middle here. I'll keep one Chosen. Where should I pop that one? Probably I'll use a Chosen just to sort of move it there and move it up. So that gives me a split there with those groups. And then we've just got the 3, 4 down through here. We'll get the Chosen in there. Legionnaires, Havocs. The Havoc I'll be wanting to position probably over that side, so the Havoc is actually okay there. And then the Legionnaires either side there really is going to be fine. So that there is for my initial initial sort of loadout. I think it's going to work with the objectives that we actually have. So we'll now just go and proceed. So this is just the deployment. I find the voice acting, and again, it may change. I don't know which version, with the version that I've got, whether I will actually end up with more, whether it'll change. I don't think the voice acting would change, but I find it is a bit one-dimensional with the forces. We are returned. Chosen isn't doing anything. Raptors ready. Chosen's not telling us anything. Let us show them. See, they're different groups, but it almost sounds like this. There's a slight variation there. I just sort of, personally, I would have liked a little bit more variation there. So anyway, we've got, these guys can actually reach this location. So I'm going to send them across. I will prove my worth once more. And I might just go back to sound, and I'm just going to reduce the voice just so that they're not overpowering. Right, back in through here, you can turn around with facing is incredibly important. So if I just go across and just sort of drag, I can click and drag to change the facing, or I can just press the G to sort of change facing as well, and then just sort of and it doesn't cost me anything to go and do that one. So if I just go and change facing that way. So in this case, I do want to just make sure, sometimes there can be units that can come in behind. So I want this one to be facing out this side, just so we can see if anything does arrive from this other side. I'm going to interact with that one, and we then capture this location. Actually, another little piece of, if I'm being hypercritical, I find this is a little bit underwhelming when you compare it to some of the other. Actually, I did play a test version against the Adeptus Sororitas, so maybe all the DLCs are playable against them. I think it's just when I was just re-rolling to try to get one of those factions. I did actually play against the Adeptus Sororitas, so I haven't found the Imperium of Man yet to see if they've actually done anything. This one here has still got one more action. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to do anything here, but I'm just going to go into the Overwatch, and I'm just going to go and set up. I won't go to maximum range. I will actually just go to, say, this one here at, say, 2. So I'll just go and protect against that particular zone. We now want to start moving up, because my assumption is that we're going to be mainly fighting up through here. So that would be sort of where we end up going. Let's go and move straight up. So in this case, these Chosen, they're not going to be able to make use of their ranged attack. They've only got the 3, so they're not really of any great value in sending them off to do anything. These ones you can see are a little bit sort of caught with what they do. I'm going to go straight to the jump pack in this case, just so I can sort of move forward. And so I'm just going to be moving a little bit further out than what we saw there before. So I've got the jump pack selected, and if I turn that one off, yeah, I can only move to there. Jump pack gets me on the other side of this here. These little areas here, you can't actually walk off the end. So these are sort of like, they're not even defensive, but they are essentially like an area where things can't really get to you. So they can be great for ranged units. Again, this is being fleshed out all the time, this particular mode. Let's just go out to there. And again, these don't actually have any real big range. Just have a quick look down and just make sure that there's nothing that we can see anywhere. No, that's okay. We'll just leave that where that is. Nothing else we can do. We use the action point there for movement, like what we did with this unit through this other side. Legionnaires, I'm just going to move them up. Now this one, these may have, when you do this as well, by the way, you'll sort of see there's like a yellow or orange ring. That's the optimum range for their ranged weapon. So I'm just going to move this one up into, you can see there, if I go behind the Chosen, anything in front, we don't quite get what we need. But I am going to need to fan out. So I'm just going to fan this one across this other side. And we'll then go into Overwatch. And so the optimum range here will also then just change as the colour sort of goes as well. I'll just go and place that one there. Then we've then got the big Hellbrute. And in this case, I think, again, I want it to just be up and into the fight. So I'm just going to use its movement to do that. And I'm thinking we do the same with the Chaos Sorcerer. Because he doesn't really have, like this is not a, we can't use Overwatch for that. So he doesn't actually, he's only got essentially a melee attack. So of the 4 stave. So I might as well use up all my points. I can sort of get in behind these sorts of areas to try to protect them a little bit. So he's not super powerful. I'm happy for him to just be looking out this way. That's fine. These Legionnaires, I want them to move up and then start to protect the different zones. Again, be aware that you've then got areas where it's not going to be quite as effective in certain zones. I'll just keep that one out through there. The Havocs back through here. We want to get these up and into the middle where they can actually be fairly effective. It's probably going to be... This here is going to be interesting because it's going to sort of block us off from doing a lot of things. We're going to have to go one way or the other. I think I'm going to take it this side. So I'm just going to move that one up into there and use all of its weaponry at this stage. That just leaves these Legionnaires through here as well, and I'll just leave them with Overwatch. So again, you can sort of see that once we actually hit these areas, it really, like the actual the ability to actually get to hits on the areas changes dramatically if anything's in the front or if there's sort of terrain in front. This is actually really good to actually just test things out a little bit with the movement to see what's going on. I think I'm going to risk this one as well. I don't think we're going to be in the fight initially. And again, we've got double the points of the enemy at this stage. So even though we've split our forces into 2, essentially, we've still, it shouldn't really be a problem. We'll just end our turn. Ideally, the enemy is going to be split, but they're not going to be. Okay, they're coming from that side. Here they come. Just took 42 points there. All right. That's interesting. So it may be that they're all coming from this other side over through here. Now we've got 5 command points because we captured one of those locations. So he has now been injured, the actual Chaos Sorcerer, slightly. So he's now down to 208 points with what he can then go and do. It's very important you understand what the abilities of the enemy actually are. So if you haven't really played the game much, you do need to, like I'll just deselect that. We can then sort of go in and see these are intercessors in through there. They're both intercessor groups. So who are they and what do they end up doing? So we can sort of see there that these have got 4 movement points, 5 evasion, so they can sort of avoid things a little bit. These are actually got the armor of 5, so 5 ranged armor, 5 melee armor. So they're fairly powerful. 75. These are going to be very similar to our own Space Marines. The intercessors are going to be a slightly better group than the standard Space Marines. So they're going to be a little bit like our Terminators, which we don't actually have any of in this particular group. So these are essentially armed with their bolt rifle, again range of up to 8. So you have pretty much our Terminator group is going to be very, very similar to this particular group. Now, what have they got? Got Red Thirst. This unit gains bonus momentum when an enemy model is killed based on proximity to the enemy unit. Now, that hasn't happened. They've also then got the Army Cohesion plus 10% momentum gains. Momentum is this area through here where they're on 0 at this stage up to 100, and then they've got Righteous Exhortation, so plus 25% melee damage, expires in 2 turns. Now they don't have melee, they've only got the bolt weapon, so that's not really going to do anything. We are seeing like a little starburst around them, and that is what's actually firing up there. So if they had ranged weaponry, so I'm guessing that all of their units have actually started off with this Righteous Exhortation, which will have come from a priest, some sort of priest unit, I would imagine, which is going to be further at the back there. We should sort of start to see more and more of these as we move in. So these are their long range guys. We need to now start to sort of do damage. So I'm going to, you can see there as I move this one up, I've got optimal range there. The size of the circle would change based on what I see. If I move to there, see how I've then got to fire past this, and so the circle diminishes. And I really want to just start to sort of do damage. So that there is fine. Even that there is fine. The Hellbrute can take a fair bit of damage. The bolt pistols just fire at like per unit, so they're not terribly difficult. So I can either fire from here if I wanted to, but it's only 60% chance to hit. So so it's not really going to, the damage will be 4 to 6 times 24. So I want to get the best possible shot. I think I'll go here because it sort of opens up the area behind as well. Do we see anyone else behind it? We don't. So that's all we can see at this stage. So with that one there, there's nothing we can do to sort of set it up. We do actually have the Heavy Bolter. We also have the Hellbrute Fist. Only got one action with this guy. So we've got, this one's Volatile again, explodes on death. Veterans of the Long War. So this is actually, we'll just might as well go through all of these. This veteran warriors have sought and found battles on endless worlds. This unit gains bonus momentum for every weapon attack action. So plus 3 momentum for each ranged weapon attack and plus 7 momentum for each melee. You can see there we've got 0 momentum at the moment. And so Dark Pacts, so for every 20 momentum gained, this unit receives Favoured of Chaos, which is one of those, as we spoke about this before, these are what we want to have sort of kicking in to what we end up having. So plus 10% critical chance, plus 5% gaze chance when attacked. If the unit already has Favour of Chaos, then the counter overflows and is reset with no effect. That's fine. So momentum counter 0 of 20 at this point in time. Then we've also then got Devastating Strike, so enemies hit with melee attacks. Now this is something I can't really get close enough to be able to do one of those sorts of attacks. And then we've got the Army Cohesion, we've got plus 10% momentum gains just because we've got a cohesive army, which is not really here nor there. So let's just go and do the attack. So we end up doing the attack with our Heavy Bolter. And again, they've sort of got their Heavy Bolters as well. The to hit now has gone up from 60 to 80%, so we now have a better chance. If I go to the ones behind, it's 70%. So this is the one we want to be doing. Each shot is going to do 4 to 6, and we have 24 shots coming from our Heavy Bolter, if we have a bit of a look to see. So the range is 1 to 4, the optimal is 4. Attacks 24 because it's like a machine gun. Base damage is 6 to 8. Armor piercing is only 3, so they've got 5, which means that the actual damage, the base damage of 6 to 8, is going to be less. You can see there the 6 to 8 has been diminished down to 4 to 6 because of that. Because their armor is 5. So we saw that their armor was 5 there before. Base accuracy 85, accuracy fall off 10 per tile, and the weapon is ballistic, cost is 1 action point. Let's just get it done. So there is actually now a RNG factor, but it doesn't play much in this game, to be honest. It's a great game. So it just fires at 1 unit per round, 1 down, and a little bit of damage done to a second one. So this unit now, when it fires, has only got 4 units. So the ability that it has with their Heavy Bolters is going to be multiplied by 4, not 5 anymore. So that's taken 1 of their units out. I hope that all makes sense. Now the Chosen I can move in and grab this location and let's just bring it in. So I can interact. I sort of don't know whether I want to have it come in all the way. We've got 80 points. We've got 6 armor, which is 1 more armor than what they've got. Let's just interact anyway. We're here. Bring this one up. So we've now got 2 of these. We need to get to 75 to win this particular one. Now, so we've got brutal attrition, so it requires and consumes favour of chaos. We actually don't have that at this stage. We do have the Veterans of the Long War still. The accursed chain weapon, can't make use of that one. We can hit this one, but I don't want to move too far out. So the bolt weapon, the bolt pistol, has only got a 55% chance. And actually, what does the bolt pistol have? It's got a armor piercing of 1. It's useless. It really is useless. So what I think I'll do is I'm not going to do the bolt pistol. I'm going to move back away from this in behind here. I've done what I needed to do. I can then go and do an Overwatch attack for anything that comes close. So let's just go and have Overwatch if anything arrives in one of these 2 locations, because it's useless anyway. I really need to sort of be trying to keep that one back for other attacks. We have our priest guy. Now this one again, we've got a range there. You can see there, it doesn't matter where I fire this one from. So the Infernal Gaze can certainly attack this one from back here. So I might as well do that. So we're just going to go and do this one here. We've got a chances 100%. It doesn't matter where they are within that 5 range. They're going to be doing a lot. And the damage here is going to be 47 to 63. But that's splash damage, which means per unit. So we're going to do a lot of damage to this guy. And actually, we don't have Favoured by Chaos. Oh yes, we do have Favoured by Chaos. That's right, he picks it up every turn. So we did a little bit of splash damage back into here. So we did now damage, with the splash damage we do damage to all of the individual units. So they're now down to 35, 26, one's down to 9. So we've almost got rid of this particular force. This is now on a 2-turn cooldown, and there's not really a lot I can do with that one. So I'll probably keep this one in behind as a support. So what are we going to do with this guy? Now if I move this one up, you can sort of see there, I get diminished returns because of this one being in the way. If I move to there, this one actually then has a good shot from that point. So I think I'll actually go and do that. Now our Legionnaires are, when we have a look at them, these have actually got almost the same sort of loadout. Actually, these are pretty more like the Intercessors, to be honest. These have got the 5 armor, 75 health. We've got evasion of 5. The movement is 4 ultimately. So these are, and even the little backpack things look quite similar to these guys to a degree anyway. But these are these are essentially got the same sort of weapon that they're using. Base damage in through there. So let's just go and hit these guys. We've got 80% chance. We're only going to do 2 to 3. Now this one does actually have the base damage there of armor piercing there of 2. So we're doing 2 to 3, but with 40 shots. So we've got 40 shots there. What's the shot from the pistol? Only 8. So we've got the 8 attacks coming from this pistol, but times 5 units. If I could use the frag grenade, actually I can use the frag grenade. This one here does 26 to 35 splash damage to a single enemy. So if I go and look at that one there, we're then going to hit and do 15 to 21. Now, it's not going to kill them off. It's going to kill one of them off, but not the others. I think what I'll do is I will actually use the bolt pistol, just because we've already damaged them so much. We should get a few of these killed. Yep, so we've got 1 unit left at 31 health points left over now for those Intercessors. So that's good where we are. Let's bring up this other group now. So it looks like that's going to be where the fight is. I'm going to take these Chosen, I'm going to move them up to try to take this other location at the top. There's nothing else over on the side there. So they can just move up I think we just race sort of forward here. I've got to say, I really like this faction. I don't particularly like the Chaos factions, but the Chaos Marine factions are awesome. Now, the Havoc. Havoc is long range, but we're not going to be long range enough to be able to do what we have to do back over here yet. So we need to get towards the fight. If I go to there, even if I go to Overwatch, that location is not really protected. If I go to there, I don't really have an Overwatch all that effectively. I think I'm going to have to take a bit of a punt. And we're not seeing anything else up here just yet. Oh, gosh, it's tempting to go Overwatch and then sort of push it out. I just don't think I think I'm better off moving up. Let's just move up this way. Again, these guys are a bit more powerful. These are elite units. The Legionnaires, we need to get them also towards the fight, so I'm just going to move them up. I might leave them as just a protection Overwatch in case something is actually further around this way. So let's just go and do an Overwatch just into this region. Yeah, I'll do it that way. And we've got these Legionnaires as well. So I'll start to bring these across and just get them with Overwatch. Ultimately now I've put too many in around the other side. So I've put them too many, because I thought they'd be sort of starting more central than what they actually are. I'm going to move these up and just have them done that way. I can press the P key just to go from unit to unit to... Oh, this one here hasn't moved. I'm glad I did that. So I'm just going to move this one now into position. Got a cooldown on the jump pack. This one is likely to be attacked at some point. So we can interact with that. And in this case, we're just going to face this one to see what's going to be coming. Go to an Overwatch there of... Well, it's going to be pretty useless. So that one is isolated, but we have now picked up 3 of these. And I would assume that there's going to be a group that will take this one over here. I would imagine will be what they'll do. Just go to P. So we've still got the only one we've got left as I press the P key is this unit here. And army cohesion. It really doesn't matter where he is, to be honest. I'm going to keep him back. Just facing it this way. So with the other powers that he has, we don't really have anything else we can do. So let's just end the turn and we'll just go to Overwatch and confirm there. Here we go. Here we go. We've got a commander. He's been healed up, but it's only 1 unit. So his voice is now too low. Might have to change him up a bit. Now the Legionnaires, oh, there we go, there's a crack grenade that's gone in. And they'll throw one as well. Gee, that actually did a lot of damage. So they've taken 1. We've got plus 15 coming in. We'll just go and proceed. Now these guys, it's very, very important that I don't actually lose any units. So I need to. The attrition is really important in this game. So we need to win the objectives, but also make sure that we don't lose anything. Now, the Havocs. So with their heavy bolter, this one here has got 10 attacks. It's got an armor piercing of 3. Base damage there of 5 to 7. That was interesting. I thought that it says, yeah, it's only 1 grenade when they throw it. Well, 2 can play at that game. So I can do damage in there. I'll come back to that one. We'll think about what to do. But there's no problem with actually moving up and sort of stopping in the way. So I think my optimum shot is there for the big unit. So let's move this one around. Again, attrition is what I'm looking for at this stage. They've now used, I think they probably have got 2 grenades, I would imagine. I'll just get rid of that one. If I get rid of it, I can then sort of see. Got the bolt weapons there. It's hard to sort of tell how many grenades they've got. If I go back and select this unit and then go and click on it, I then get detail about what my attack is going to be. And so in this case, we can see that the heavy bolter hit chance 70%, accuracy 75. I've then got a much better chance to sort of see with the heavy bolter, which is what we have. Look, I'll just go for the attack here. I don't think I've got any of the actual points there at this stage, so let's just go and hit this one. So that was a bit more of a machine gun group. We got rid of one, but we ended up sort of hitting like all of them a little bit, or most of them. The big Hell Brute could come in and actually now do an actual one of its big attacks, its Hell Brute fist attacks. We don't know what else there is. There definitely will be others around, so I think I'll actually just play it a little bit more circumspectly with what we end up having here. So let's just go and see where we've got the better attacks. That's a good one down there. Let's move this one down to this side, and then just do an attack this way. Okay, so there's still 2 there. Now, we know that the Chosen are much better at actual melee attacks, so I think I'm going to move that one into this position. These don't have a melee attack, so I can just move straight into anywhere I like. And that way I can sort of finish them off, but still be behind the gateway there. So we're not seeing anything else coming up this way. I can always just have a bit of a look around to see, is there anything that we're seeing? But there's not. Now, they took this one here, so we can expect to see more coming down towards this unit. So we sort of end up shuffling. But anyway, let's kill this one off. So we end up having, and again, if I have a look at the cursed chain weapon attacking them, hit chance 95%. Damage is going to be 9 to 15 times 10, plus 4 to 6 splash damage. So we're going to be doing a lot of damage, essentially, through here. That'll then kill off these 2. They're done, but we don't have any more action points with that unit, so that unit is now stuck where it is, which is fine. I'll still keep it, like this is the priest unit that we were talking about before, which had the ability to give the righteous exhortation. So that's actually one of the abilities that it actually would have had if we can't see too much more detail about that one. So we've still got this group of Space Marines. A 67% chance to hit this one. This one here has got an armor of 5, as does this one. Now we've still got units that are coming back up the other side. So I'm going to send the Chosen up towards that one. And I still don't think we're going to see anything up this way. So I'm just going to keep on marching that one forward. We then actually have our Legionnaires, which that's going to be the optimum range there, or optimum shot against that unit. So we'll bring that one forward. Kill this unit off. The intercessors are now destroyed. We'll just keep on moving forward here because we need to now get across the other side to hit whatever's left of the forces back on the other side there. So I'm going to move this one up as well. I don't really get a shot. So I'll take its... I'll just get it so we can move quickly to the other side. This guy here does get a little bit of a shot. I'm I'm going to move it away from this fight. I'm not exactly sure exactly where it needs to go. That's good. That was a good outcome, actually. 76 hit points. That's certainly damaged it. Let's move it across just as support back over to here. So we'll start to sort of at least move it into these rear positions just because it's taken damage. It's still pretty healthy, so I don't have to worry about it too much. I'll just keep on watching what's going on here, over here. And I'm now going to move this one away from this particular attack and sort of abandon this now, but just so we can get back into the support. I think I'll next turn I'm going to be able to then use the jetpack. Actually, have we still got? Oh, we can use it now, if I needed to, but I don't want to just yet. I want to find a reason to use the jetpack. Okay, press P. So this unit here, we now need to switch across to start to sort of come across. One more turn, we can then start to use its bigger power as well. In fact, yeah, I'll keep it back. I'm just running it now back in with these Marines. I really like the balance of this force. It's a very, very cool faction to play. P, we've still got that one, still got that one. They're the only two. Let's end our turn there. It's healing itself. Still got one more action. Minimal damage against the Chosen. So that pistol that it's got only does 1 damage. We saw some movement back up there. Now they've got we've got the 3. They've only got the 1. So we're moving nicely now through the list. Definitely should start to see units now coming back out from this other side. So we'll start to move across to cover that. We have to get rid of this guy. A 72% chance, but we've got all of these that can come and finish him off. So we'll use the axe here. He's trying to heal himself up. I forgot about that. Now, see, this is what we've got. The Chosen have now got the Righteous. So they've actually now got favoured by Chaos. So we now actually have this status. And this has become because our momentum has just gone over 20. So the momentum has now hit this location, which is giving them their extra powers. So a couple of them are slightly injured, which is not really a big problem. The Havocs, again, I want to get these into a position where we can fire at different things. It's hard to tell which side we actually have to deal with. I'm just going to move that one down to there, just so we can finish off this guy. He's down. And look, we're not going to see anything else that side, I don't think. So I will go this side. These have also now got the favoured by Chaos. These ones don't. Just do the Overwatch. I'll do it out to there. I don't want to have them separated too much, so I'll just sort of keep them coming back in. Still got these guys as well. Just move out one. I'll just keep them where they are. Maybe, no, maybe not. Can we see anything else? No, not yet. Yeah, I'll just make the voices so it's a little bit louder. Just a little bit. Okay, so so they're covered. Let's press P again, and we'll we'll just do an overwatch where we've got a bit more control.
I will punish their foolish advance.
Just in case there's a melee force that gets close to that one. So P again. Again, I don't want to go too far out ahead of itself, but we can go one more. Just look out that side.
Bring forth the souls of the weak. See souls tremble as I pass.
Aha. Now we do actually have an assault squad. So these have got 5 armor, only 50 hit points each. These are essentially just like melee Space Marines. So fairly weak, but you know, they've got bolt pistols, which aren't going to do too much damage, but they do have the chainsword, which we have to be a little bit careful of. Now I can do this. Enough movement points. Hang on. Yeah, okay, I don't have enough range there, but I can move across one. There's 2 groups there. These are 2 assault squads. Now they can, these have got, yeah, the assault tactics. Have to be a little bit careful of these, but if we can do the damage here, we're going to be able to do a lot of damage with this fire attack. But I'm now completely out of action, so they will be able to get close to me. These Legionnaires, I need to bring them up so that if we do get attacked, we'll then be able to protect. We're protecting this anyway with this with the Hellbrute. So I'm going to move this one into here. And just put an Overwatch out to there. Again, this one as well. Actually, I'll just go that way. And just do an Overwatch just in around that zone. Just because they've mainly got the chainsword, melee is going to be the important thing here. Alright, so that's the next little group that we have. Let's just keep on pressing P. Now I can't quite get all the way up to there, but there shouldn't be anything else up this way. Now I don't need to rush that one, so I'm just going to stay looking out that side. Just do an Overwatch out to there somewhere. That'll be fine. Press P, and that's everyone moved. Okay, so we're closing in on the last little group, so we'll just end our turn there. Jetpacks, yeah, so here they come. This is where we've got the Overwatch. That's 3 gone. That's good. Wow, that was a big grenade. That was a crack grenade. That was good. That was really good. So we wiped them out, that particular force. Proceed. So they used a crack grenade on that one, which we didn't actually have, and we've now got favoured by chaos everywhere. Now our sorcerer can actually just do melee attacks. So and this shouldn't really be a big problem against this one here. So we've got the that's right, fallback. We can actually use the fallback if we needed to.
Your soul shall be cast to the wall.
There we go. And that's it. So with that victory, so we got the results were that we got 75 out of 15. We ended up with 3 of the actual points. Experience-wise, we got 20 experience there because the units can level up, which is cool. The group of Legionnaires got 70 actually experience, which is great. So just based on what they do in the battle, The Hellbrute got 32. That's actually not bad. And so I'll keep on playing. Like we're over an hour, but I'll keep on going and hopefully get some level ups. Stats, we can sort of see what they ended up doing. Melee kills back in through there. The Chosen, one melee kill. The ranged accuracy was very, very high, which is good. So there we go. That's the actual outcome. We'll just go and proceed. So that's phase 1, where you play the battle. Phase 2 in this mode is you then come back. And so we end up with different rewards. So we've got the army cap point goes up by plus 50. So we can now bring another group in or change things around or do something like that. We've got 300 requisitions. So this is a reward we got for that one. So we've now got a lot more requisitions down this other side. So 300. We can go and buy more units. And we've got tech tree tokens there of 3. So we'll just go proceed. The next battle we have to play, this is our force here now. So this is going to be in the tundra. This is a season control, and so this one here is where the Blood Angels have now gone from 500 to 600, so we're going to get slightly more each time that we do these attacks, and again, it's all about attrition. So if we go to the HQ upgrades, or even the army management, if we go to HQ upgrades to start with, we've got 3 of these to spend. The way it works, these are the different pages up along through here. This is 1 point, 2 points, 3 points. So if there's something specifically that I can buy that I can unlock for 3. So, for example, with our Chaos Sorcerer, when we played that particular one, it was really cool that he could actually do that fire spell every second turn. Trouble was, he had nothing to do for most of the time when he was waiting, to get close to the enemy. So, is there anything else we can do that is going to give him an ability to make use of his second area? So we've got this Servant of Dark Powers. At the start of each turn, this unit gains Favour of Chaos, so he gets a bit more of that each time. There's the Infernal Gaze. That one's actually worth 4 points, so he starts off with that one. Energy Drain. So drain 20 momentum and remove all Overwatch stacks from target allied and enemy unit within 5 tiles and give 10 momentum to this unit, so we can get even more momentum. If the unit has no momentum, so that's drain. We can drain momentum off other units. If available, Favour of Chaos is consumed to add weakened to the target. Okay, so if the target has no momentum, the drain will only gain 5 momentum. If available, Favour of Chaos is consumed to add weakened to the target, which gives them minus 25%. That's a good one, actually, to start to weaken the units as the battle progresses. I can't come back down to the Empiric Reservoir yet because I need to have this one first. Gift of Chaos down this way. So target ally within 4 tiles receive one of the following gifts at random. So +1 armor piercing, that's a good one as well. If the target unit has already had, this one's got a cooldown of 1. So if the target unit already has the selected gift, so that one can be used. That's a cooldown of 1 as well. So it's either weakened or, yeah, this is, the target unit already has the selected gift, and it will be instead gain a stack of treacherous gifts. This then puts him into that support area, so I can use that one for all 3 points there. I think I'll just do that for now. So that's now all 3 points have been done. So that way we just get our Chaos Sorcerer stronger. I could have gone and got myself a Chaos Lord, but it's going to cost me 190 points. We've only got an extra 50 points now that have come in, like 60 in total. So I can bring in a Chaos, Chaos mob essentially, if I needed to. I'll just go and confirm that. And just go and click on Done. So then we go to Army Management, where we now have up to 1,050 points. We've got 60 points left. I've got no 60 pointers left back in through here. So really the only thing I can do is just go and add in a group of Chaos Cultists, which will take us to 1035. So we then just have like a chaff unit, essentially. It doesn't matter if these get killed off so much. So that was for 45 points. The actual individual units we actually have through here, we'll start to sort of see some stats about these as well. We should. Where are we? Not seeing there. Here we go. That's the experience. So this one happens to be the one that did get the extra experience. At this stage, we can't do any level ups, so we'll play another battle and then sort of see what we get after the next battle. So that is fine. This one's only, actually they've all got 70. Okay, these are, that's right. This is pooled amongst all of your, when they get level ups, it's for the whole type that is actually there. But they do have individual groups as well. I'm not seeing it there. I thought there was something else there. Anyway, let's just click on done. So we're now ready for the next fight. So this one here is, again, it's just Blood Angels all the way through. So we've got 1,050 points against 600. So we'll just keep on proceeding. Requisition reward here is going to be 160. We're going to get 4 HQ tokens. So let's go and proceed. Here we are in the tundra this time. So we've got one extra unit that's now sort of been placed into the actual group itself. There they are there, the Chaos Cultist mob. So they're going to be sort of, actually this is interesting, we're really close to the objective. What we have to do is we have to come into the objective and hold the objective as long as we possibly can. This is really about attrition. We shouldn't have any real issues with this particular attack. So that happens to have been randomly placed in a very, very advantageous position for us. And again, I don't mind that in these procedural games. It's probably a little bit too close, to be honest, but the enemy is going to be coming in from in here somewhere. They will have some protection, and we have to sort of think, okay, where are we going to get the best bang for buck with our units that can fire on things? And so the Hellbrute, now the Hellbrute probably is going to be better off. I don't know if we can get across this. Hellbrute's probably going to be better off in the middle, in around here, ultimately. We're going to need to sort of get as many units into this area as possible. So I think I'll bring the Hellbrute out for now. We'll bring these Chaos Cultist mob in, because they're expendable. So sort of just get them to charge on through initially, and blaze the trail for us. The Sorcerer I'm going to move back at this point in time. Legionnaire is just going to be useful sort of towards the back line. Still got the Raptors there, which we can use strategically. I'm thinking the Chosen maybe to go in initially. Leave the Raptors back. The Havocs. Again, these are going to be better off on the side here, just where we've got more open shots. Legionnaires back this way as well. Might switch them over. So with the Chosen there. Chosen there. It's funny they ended up in the same spot. Legionnaires back there. Chaos Cultists in the front. Legionnaires, I'll position them actually as well, just in this way. Alright, so we should be able to get this one fairly fast, I would think, just based on where this one actually is. Proceed. Unless they've started literally here. which it could have. So you can see there we can't move into those, but with this one will give us some protection. So the Chosen, we just want to move the Chosen up. And sort of just keep them out of the way a little bit. It's important that we sort of just control as much of this as we possibly can.
We are returned.
Now we can expect that there'll be flying units that will be coming through.
I will punish their foolish advance.
This group are Chosen into here.
Ready, War Master.
We just have to sort of have more than the enemy as they come in.
Give us this honor. lord.
Move that one up. Overwatch there. I'll do just a one overwatch with those. In fact, these as well. Just need to have like just minimal overwatch, just in case they get attacked with melee.
None shall escape my gaze.
Legionnaires in through here. I do actually have, like, I've got better attacks if I'm in behind this this little protective area than if I'm behind the other units. Probably should have moved them out to this side, but that's okay.
Fate begins.
Now, the Chaos Sorcerer, we do actually have this Gift of Chaos. Just leave that one
They
there.
won't see us coming.
Yeah, so we couldn't move through there.
Heavy weaponry on the way.
I'm a bit concerned about leaving these on the side here like this, but it should be okay.
Time to fire.
I'll keep these, because we've got the maneuverability with this, I'll just keep them out on this side, just so we can sort of check the flank. These are semi-expendable, the Raptors. Which then leaves this one in here
Tremble as I pass.
to give more support. So we've got a lot of units inside the area. And Gift of Chaos. I think I'll give it to the Hellbrute.
Conjure forth the powers of the immaterial.
20% bonus hit points. There we are. Great. Okay, so that's going to be useful. We'll just end our turn there. Yep, that's
Send
fine.
the prey our way.
Here they come.
Taking fire.
Nice. Nice attack. Minimal this time. That's because we're firing over our guys.
Taking fire.
Legionnaires there firing away again. That was better. Did we get a kill? Yes, we did. Great. That's one of their commanders down, which is good. A good idea. That's just a skirmish unit. They are coming around this other side. Cultists are going to take a bit of a hit here.
That won't stop me.
There's the intercessors. So we don't have any healing abilities. I don't know if they'll have anything left now. So they've also got to get into this area.
Taking fire.
It's literally just a scout unit there. Now if we blow that up, it should do damage to the others. Now we can expect a lot of grenades. Again, the intercessors have got like a lot of range. So we've got 30. So we've got plus 35 allies within control zone and minus 5 enemies. So we've got plus 30 there already. We only have to get to 75. So they're going to need to come in now and do their attack. So we have assault squads there. Well, this is
True power.
what's this one down to? Still got 114.
Bring forth the souls of the weak.
So this one does already have the favoured by chaos. Now we have the attack there. I can take that one out. I want to be taking out multiple units. If I go that way there, I can end up getting a bunch of them. These have already got favoured by chaos as well. Now that's going to explode. So I think I'm better off just bringing the Hellbrood across. There's those extra hit points that it's got. So it's down to 45. I can use this. I don't want to attack that until we've actually sort of wiped it out. Now the Havocs are going to be able to cause a lot more damage. It's just an assault squad there. I'll come back to them.
Raptors ready.
Just move these Legionnaires across.
Kill them all. Taking fire.
Did it explode? I thought it was going to explode and hit these. They've now also got the Favoured by Chaos. With these guys here, I can sort of protect them a little bit by moving up into this position. Yeah, I can't actually hit them. Oh, yes, I can. I can hit them any old place. Well, we need to sort of see what's up that way. So these guys here have still got their shot. I'm not going to get any other shot there, so I might as well just go for it, I think. So it's 65 there. I've got a better shot there. Oh, no, it's still the same. They're predominantly being killed.
Anything for the ruinous powers, my lord.
I might as well see what else is up this way.
On it.
The time of the Imperium is over.
Jeez, they didn't even get to kill one of them. Alright, well that's where we use the Chosen.
I will prove my worth once more. By the blood.
Now we've killed off 3 of their units already, which is good. And I've got to then think about what to do with this unit. Now this one's already taken some damage. We can actually have all these other Legionnaires. And I need to get within 5 of this one here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to get to there.
Let me lead your dark pursuit.
Let me move this one back. Just face that way. I'm going to position this one in behind. Just try to stay away with the grenades and just have that one sort of hiding behind this stack and just go to Overwatch of 1 there. Still doesn't give me a clean shot there.
We are returned. Bring forth the souls of the weak.
Just bring that one up. And then we can use this one. It's always a 100% chance to hit. And we should do damage to the one behind it as well. Yep, that's good. Now these chainsword guys are going to cause us some issues. We've got the intercessors behind there, but these we know that they've got their grenades, so we're going to need to do other things. So I think I might I'll just keep that one where that is for now.
Our Black Crusade begins.
It's been wiped out.
As you command.
Yeah, we've got limited shots here. I do get a shot there against that one there. I think I'll take it and then move back. Again, we need to get as many inside this area as we possibly can. So we'll just weaken them. Back inside.
It is done.
So it doesn't have any more shots. Hellbrute can get inside there as well. The Havocs can as well. And the Raptors as well. That should be everyone. Alright, so we've got our whole stack is in here. Now it may only be, that may be all that they've got left. They're going to use grenades, I think. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Yep, that's okay. Here we go. That's all they got. Okay, so you've got plus 50 allies in the area there. That's it. Game over, basically. We did it. Very, very quickly. So that was extremely fast. Got experience. Did anyone level up? Yes, the Legionnaires have now leveled up. So we'll have a look and see how that one works. And that's probably where I'm going to be able to leave it, actually. That's now got the everything sort of going on there, which is good. I mean, we didn't get to kill off the others, but that's okay. We'll just go and proceed. We didn't lose any units. We did very, very well there. The game is very, very strategic in a simplistic sort of way. We've got now 4 of these. We've got an army cap point of another 50, requisitions there of 160. So we've now got 415 requisitions and 4 more to spend. Actually, maybe we'll start the next one as well, just to see the different types of objectives in these maps. Again, it's much, much more interesting than what it was, 6 months ago or a year ago. It really improved a lot, this mode of play. So we've got level ups. So this is actually when you get a level up through here, they'll be able to hit level 2, and it's going to cost a little bit extra, like depending on what they end up having. So in this case, we can either go and give them plus 10 evasion, so they can sort of avoid being hit, but it's going to cost me plus 10% cost in through here as well. So they're going to cost a little bit more in terms of their actual, what they actually bring in. So I can re-roll if I want to be re-rolling these sorts of things. It'll cost me requisition points to bring them, to do that one. Immune to melee zones, so this one here, they can sort of move out of melee zones if they need to. Not something really we have to worry too much about with them, I don't think. I'm going to get plus 5 accuracy here as well, but the evasion is going to keep them alive. So let's just go with the evasion and proceed. It's going to cost a little bit more in through here. I can actually, that one there, is that a rarity? It's a rarity factor. I'm thinking that that's sort of showing us that that's actually is something that is fairly valuable. So maybe we'll go that way. Let's just go and do that one there. But that's the level ups, and they're random. You get random sort of abilities with each one of them. HQ upgrades. We'll just go back in and spend these now. So we've now picked up the Sorcerer is now much, much more valuable with these support abilities. So that sort of works out very, very nicely. So we can go somewhere else now. The Cultist Firebrands, these are a different type of cultist. I don't think we want to get those as such. Chaos Lord could be good to bring in. Now we've got another, it's only got 100 points more than what we had last time. This is more like 200 points, so that's pretty still too early to bring him in. For the Legionnaires, Chaos Cultist mobs I'm not going to worry too much about. The Havocs, we can spend this one down through here, Missile Launcher. So we can either fire a Havoc missile launcher or a frag or a crack. Again, anti-armor or anti-personnel, one of the two. We can't do that one there. But that's actually, we've got one Havoc already. These are 115 points. No, we don't quite have that ability yet. So I won't do that one just yet until we can get a few more points. Now we've got the Legionnaires. We've got the frag grenade. The crack grenade is 3. Deals 67 to 90 damage to a single enemy model. So that's actually a good one for these guys. We also have the Militia of Experience. So it's a stack of Militia of Experience. So +3 range stability. So affected casting unit adds. Okay, so this one here. +3 range ability. Damage. It expires in 1 turn. If available, Favourite of Chaos is consumed to give an additional stack. Cooldown of 2. That's very good. That's worth 2, and I've got... So I think I'll grab that, which leaves me still with 2. Now, the Raptors. They're good. Chaos Terminators. They're 210 points. These are very, very powerful as well. We haven't really gone that way. Chosen. I can't afford that. Chaos Plasma Pistol. Yeah, this is for the Chosen and for the Raptors. It's going to give armor piercing of 5, which is actually not bad, and better damage. We are using Chosen. Let's have a look over this other side. We can get the Chaos Rhino there for 1 as well. And the Venom Crawler. This one's a 145 points. Let's go and throw that one into the mix. And let's go back and get this Chaos Plasma Pistol. So we'll confirm those. So we've done all of those. We'll just go and click on Done. We go back to Army Management now. And you'll see there we've got a little bit more points than what we had there before, just because of the 5% extra now for these guys. These are now worth... oh no, they're still worth 80. No, they were 75 before, I think. I can't remember what they were. So we now actually have... no, I think they were 75. But they're now worth a little bit more because of their abilities. If we have a look at the Chaos guys, what have we got? Yeah, so this is the Chosen. The Chosen are either 100 points with this one, or we can go with the Plasma Pistol to make them 110. This will make them more valuable for their short range attack. So I'm thinking we do that and bring them across. So if I go to this one here that we've already got, I can then just do the upgrade. I'm glad I've got to show all this actually. This sort of shows pretty much the full gamut of how to then start to sort of play these. So both of those have now gone up. We're now only 30 points off. If I get rid of this unit here, which is 45, it doesn't give me enough to get another Legionnaires. But if I just go and pop it into the reserves, so it's now sitting in the reserves, and if I just go back in and just go and grab another one of these, they're 80. It's going to take me just 5 over. So we now bring those in. So we're now slightly over, just by 5. So I can go back to any of the others that we just got the upgrades on. So that one there has also got the Plasma Pistol. Let's just take this one back off. That then just takes me 5 under, where we've got extra Legionnaires. So I'm actually happy with that. These ones also then will come in with those extra abilities that we've just got there, the Millennia of Experience. And so they're now ready to go. I probably won't finish off this next attack, but let's just go and start it just so you can sort of see what like another style of map. So we'll just go and that's now ready. So we'll just go back and click on Done. I've still got 335 requisitions. I can always buy things and put them into reserve. Like for example, I could, if I wanted to, go and grab a Rhino unit and just leave that one sort of sitting at the back there. In fact, we didn't have a good look at that one, but that's the Rhino here. So this is actually like a This one here is a transport. It can take up to 2 unit models and 11 units. So I can bring to like 2 Legionnaires or whatever else I need to sort of have in through that side. It can self-repair at 30 health per turn, and volatile, explodes on death. And the weapon that it's got is a Havoc launcher, which does splash damage actually, range 2 to 8. That's actually pretty damn good. 145. Let's go and throw it in there. Let's go and put these at 80. Actually, no, I'll just put this one back into the reserve. So it's now, we've spent that from the actual requisitions, but it's in reserve. So we'll just leave that one where that actually is. Let's go and click on done. This one here is a domination map. So they're now up to 650 points. We'll just go and proceed. All right, here we go. So with domination, we've got like 3 areas we have to then go and dominate. So we've got one there, one down here, and one over here. So this is, again, I really love that they're bringing so many different ways of playing the game into the actual game itself, which is very, very cool. This one's going to be a bit more difficult for us. Actually, maybe we'll play it out. We'll play it out. We'll play it out. So we're going to be rushing across to here, but we're also going to need to, again, looking at the fields of fire, we have a very, very powerful location up the top here. If we can get the attrition value, we'll win it that way. So we've got a location here which we can then sort of go and position one of our, like a Havoc unit on, for example. We have another one up there if we get up that way, but we're probably not going to get that way. They've got one down this way from their side. So let's go and have the Havoc. It's got the Raptors in there. Got Legionnaires. The Hellbrood I'm going to keep around just so I can actually sort of either do ranged or melee. Havocs, they're already lined up, ready to go, so they're fine where they are. We've got the Legionnaires, so we've got 4 Legionnaires in this one. We've got the Chosen. I'm just going to move them over, pop them into that position. The Chaos Sorcerer, go up through the middle. That one I'm actually happy with where that is. The Raptors there, I'm going to probably keep back a little bit. Legionnaires, the Chosen there as well. They can't easily get through this other side, these other guys, so I'm just going to keep the Legionnaires also just sort of thumping in around near these Chosen. That should do us. In fact, I'm going to switch them over. Just for the firepower. Right, proceed.
Bring forth the souls of the weak. Let me lead in your dark pursuit.
Just in case there's anything around, I'll leave one action.
Ready, War Master. Our Black Crusade begins.
Actually, they're not going to need that, so I will actually move these up.
The ruinous powers have chosen me once more.
The Havocs, we need to get that into that central position.
We are returned.
Legionnaires.
Our Black Crusade begins.
That's as far as that one can get. I'll just take it to there to start with. Probably should have moved it over there, but anyway.
Conjure forth the powers of the Immatarian.
Extra accuracy, that's good. Keep the Legionnaires there, and really, they're not going to be able to do much this first turn.
I will prove my worth.
And the Raptors, just move them up as well. Just get them close to the objectives. That's everyone.
I will punish their foolish.
Overwatch in this first round isn't going to be critical in terms of trying to get the best bang for buck. So nothing done yet. Let's bring the Chosen in.
Detected on the ore specs.
Oh, hang on. Need to... there is actually forces coming in. Turn 2 of 10. Points are awarded from turn 3. It was saying, don't think I've played this style before. So we don't get any points yet. But we do control this one. We should now potentially start to see units, so let's just keep them where they are. Nice, nice way of playing the game, this one as well. Now, I can still move into there and grab this, but I've then got to start thinking about what I'm going to gain by doing that.
Time to fire. Bring forth the souls of the weak.
Just get in there. Let's just take this one as well, but we don't get the points for it just yet. That's the Chosen Band. I'll just bring that one back in across. I really can't see us needing to have Overwatch just yet. But just in case, I will actually move this one across. They should be over this side now.
We are returned. They won't see us coming.
Okay, that's good.
None shall escape my gaze.
So attrition now is going to be important for us. I'm going to let them sort of come in and try to attack me. Oh, sorry. I'll do that before the enemy has their turn.
Enemy on the auspex. I will force this one to
Here they
suffer.
come.
A mere wound.
Got better sight than what we've got. Now that range. Legionnaires there.
Our black crusade begins.
So what do we got in here? Intercessors and intercessors there. We've got a 38% chance of hitting these, which is not great. They'll have to come in a bit closer.
Let me lead your dark pursuits.
Just going to see if there's anything else that we can spot behind them. Yeah, there's even more.
Once more.
So 3 groups of intercessors.
Bring forth the souls of the weak.
So if we have a shot there from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, if I just move to there and then do this.
Let flesh melt and bone turn to dust.
That was good. So I've done a bit of damage to all of those. I've got the Gift of Chaos again. I'll just give the Havocs... do we want the Havocs to have a go of this? Or back this way again? Plus 10% accuracy. Yeah, that was a good choice. Just move this one back in around here again. So I'm not going to worry about this one over here. They can take that one because we want to get the attrition here now. So with these guys, we now have 48% chance. Might as well kill off one of them. Right, they're down to just a couple. Now, if we move up to there, 1, 2, 3, that's going to then give me the shot. That one can also just move up, but it's still not going to give me exactly what I need. Well, let's move up. We've still got that. Yeah, I don't have a grenade. I'll come back to that unit. There's more chain guys that side. So this will do 15 to 21 damage to each unit. So I will actually take it to that one.
Grenade out! Taking fire! Ready, War Master! Rip out their throats!
Great, that's one stack down.
We are returned!
Now we do have another shot there. It's probably our best chance.
Kill them all!
Just to get rid of a couple of units from in there if we could. Now these are going to be attacked, so I'll probably just do an Overwatch defense, I think, in behind for these guys when they sort of come swooping through.
Our Black Crusade begins!
We should be able to finish off a few of these units. This chosen has got the plasma pistol, and it also is going to be good just to have the Overwatch.
None shall escape my gaze!
And then that's an ideal position there as well. Just to stop these guys.
Raptors ready.
I could take it further, but I don't think I'll bother.
Try to keep up.
Just leave that one there. Alright, we'll end our turn there. So these ones do have an Overwatch, but it's pretty weak. I'll still, just in case,
Our way.
just go from unit to unit. This group here still can move.
I will prove my worth once more.
Just get them a bit closer. That should be, we should be close enough to do what we have to do there afterwards. This one's just the bolt pistol, not the plasma pistol. So I've got them in the right position. I should have checked that one before we started, just to make sure that they were in exactly that position. That's all we've got. So we'll just end our turn there. There we go. So I need to now pick up the points. Here they come. Overwatch will kick in. Not doing as much damage as I would have liked. That's better. There we go. Falling out of the sky. I'm going to actually just quickly show you one other little thing. I completely forgot about it. Then I thought, oh, this is actually pretty cool. This is actually the camera control. And I need an actual I need a screen grab. A tool, what is it? One of those thumbnails. Now, is that going to be good enough? Or is it better from down in here? It's probably better from down this way, isn't it, really? So just getting the units here, so I can actually sort of go and get a very, very specific shot. Actually, maybe there's even more back this way that would actually be a better look. I mean, ultimately it's going to be better looking at the front of these units. But you can sort of just go in and actually get camera controls and sort of see what you've actually got there. Let's grab it from around here somewhere, I guess. There are ways of changing all of the different components. You've got depth of field, you've got color corrections, you've got all sorts of stuff like this as well. I'll just pause and then I'll just take a shot and then I'll go for, I won't sort of spend too much time with this, but you can actually go and you can see there's space to hide the UI, enter to save the screenshot, etc, etc. Sorry, I forgot to unpause. I just let them fly back in and took the shot. They tried to run past to get to these other units, but they were then attacked and suppressed back in through here. So these are now really suffering. We've got more units now coming through here. Commander. I'll just go and press space to re-pick those up. Here they come. There'll be grenades being thrown, I would assume. Yep. Nothing too damaging. It's the crack grenades that bother me more than anything, to be honest. Alright, we've got very, very good attrition now that we can sort of then go and do things. So they've actually got 2 units within zone of control, 7 control points secured, so they picked up 9 points there. We'll just go and proceed. Now, I'm assuming that they've picked this one up. Yeah, there they are. We've got another assault squad back over this side. So we need to now challenge this area. Attrition-wise, really, that's what it's going to be all about. So, this one here, I've still got another Gift of Chaos. I'll give that across to the Hellbrute. Bonus hit points. She's got a few boons now of different things, accuracy and hit points. These guys here should be able to smash through these fairly readily. Having said that, they've still got a bit of health, so they will fight back. If I just go and press on that one through there, so they've got up to 29, 25, etc. Like when we do go in. 90% hit chance with our Accursed Chain Weapon. Damage is going to be 9 to 13 times 10, plus some splash damage as well. So that's enough to take this out. Yep, armor piercing 5 versus armor 5. It's all good. So I think that'll just be a kill. Yep, so they've been destroyed, and they've now got the extra points there. We're going to see these guys swing across, I would imagine, with what they're doing. Right, Legionnaires. Now we've got an 80% chance to hit them. We also then have these guys now, which don't have I can't sort of... It's got stabilizing talons. Converts all the units' remaining movement stacks into stacks of stabilization talons. Each stack provides 4 accuracy, stacks up to 4 times. If available, favored of chaos is consumed to give this stabilization talons extra damage. So I'm going to wait until I've got up to 20, just so I can get the favored by chaos. So we've got an 80% chance to hit this one here, which is going to be good. that's been destroyed. That's great. We then actually have this guy here, which can then come back in. Now, with these, I've got 60% chance to hit this lieutenant. And I'm going to be able to do massive damage with the Chosen. If I just move into here. But then I'm going to be in the way of this one. So I'm just going to go and hit this guy.
You will need more than that.
So what's he still got? He's still got 132 left.
Ruinous powers have chosen me once more.
And we'll just go and smash this guy.
Push them back.
So they're fairly weakened. They now do have, if like when we go into the next round, they're going to have other things. We've still got the one action point in here as well. The crack cannon.
Our Black Crusade begins.
Sorry, the frag grenade. It's not going to do enough. Look, I'll still do it anyway. So it did a bit of damage. It certainly weakened them.
We are returned.
Which I've got this as well. And that's no action points to do that. I should have done that with the others. It's not going to help. It's going to kill some.
Taking fire.
There's still 3 left. And I can actually just go now and finish them off with the melee attack.
Your soul shall be cast to the wall.
There we are. Now we don't have any more points there with that one. We've got less men back in here. This one's still got an action.
We cannot be bested.
I'll just go for it, just so we can do some damage here.
Kill them all.
It's down to 52. I can still move this one up to then sort of lock it in.
I am the instrument of the dark gods.
Okay, let's see who else has still got moves. These raptors, a bit weak. Now if I move to there, 1, 2, I do get a shot there. I might take that.
Watch the
So I can actually move into here and then do an attack, do an assault. Jump over.
This will be swift and merciless.
There we are. So the lieutenant is down. I'm assuming there won't be much else up this other side. Yeah, got a bit the best shot there with the Hellbrute.
Taking fire. I will prove
Move that one up.
once more.
This guy's really no longer needed up there anymore, so we'll move this one back down. That's the trouble with going up into these little areas. It can be difficult to reposition. End our turn. Will they move off? Yep, they are. Okay. They didn't use their jetpack though. They used their crack grenade. I'll proceed.
For the souls of the weak.
Now I do have this attack. Oh, it is friendly fire. I wasn't sure about that. In that case, let's give you this. Just to help a little bit. So it's now got extra damage.
My blade brings you death.
There we are. That was the last of them. Only got two of the extra bits there, but this is cool. So we'll just go and proceed. Nicely done. And so we just continue on, basically. Got a lot of extra requisitions, only the 2 tech tree tokens. But there's a really cool way of playing the game. Like it's like as a campaign, it's always different. There's always something different. You've got different factions depending on what DLCs you've got. Yeah, so there's a lot of replay value in this, and yes, you can see through here. Already done a strategic command back up there, I think. But you can see, as you can see from this, it's actually there's a lot going on, which is really cool, and it's really becoming quite polished now in the way that it actually presents itself, which is fantastic. So yeah, I'm really liking where this game is going. Like it's in these random campaigns, these procedural campaigns, just means that you've got such incredible replay value, and the game rates incredibly highly. The actual game mechanics themselves are solid as anything. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. So thanks for watching, and it is a bit of a long video, but I do want to sort of show, at least give you a feel for the Black Legion, what it's got, how it plays. I love it, I've got to say. In fact, I think this is now my favourite faction. I'm just thinking, I really like the Necrons. I know a lot of people don't really like them, but I do like the Necrons. But I really like this faction. It's very solid, very strong. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching. I will catch you next time.